When 18, Maggie hadn't unpacked her last duffel bag when the house already started to feel wrong. It was supposed to be a safe haven, just a few weeks with Jerome, an old friend, until she got back on her feet. After all, he said the place had plenty of room and that the kids'll love the yard. But that night her daughter Kenzie whispered something terrifying. "Mom, why does the TV blink when it's off?" That's when Maggie noticed it too. A little red glimmer across the room, blinking once every 3 seconds. She stood up, walked over, lifted the black and white photo frame off the shelf, one of those generic family stock photo ones no one ever replaces. And there it was, a camera, hidden, pointed straight at the pull-out couch where her kids slept. Her stomach flipped, her hands trembled. It felt like ice had filled her veins. Jerome wasn't home, but she was already dialing 3 digits when something stopped her. A letter, stuffed under the front door, a notice of eviction, with her name, her signature. But Maggie never signed anything. Not a lease, not a sublease, not even a napkin. She tore it open. The letter said she had 5 days to vacate, and that she was violating the lease terms. Terms she never saw. And at the bottom, signed and witnessed, Margaret L. Brooks. Her name, perfectly forged. Jerome came home whistling. Casual, cold pizza in one hand, vape pen in the other. She was waiting. Maggie calm but shaking. "You put a camera in the living room, Jerome. You forged my name. You sent an eviction letter to me in my own hand." He blinked, like someone caught rehearsing a lie. Jerome mocking. "You're paranoid. You're stressed. You said you needed help, remember?" But Maggie was already recording. This wasn't paranoia. This was a setup. And it wasn't just her anymore. It was about her kids. "Maggie, I want to know how long you've been filming my children." Jerome snapping. "They're not even your full custody. Maybe CPS should see how you live." That's when Maggie knew he wasn't going to stop. He'd already flipped the script, built his version of the story, and framed her as unstable, and it had only just begun. As she stared at the camera's blinking light again. The morning after the camera discovery, Maggie made coffee with one eye on the door. She'd hardly slept, neither had the kids. But blinking red light was gone now. Camera removed, but the feeling of being watched lingered like cigarette smoke in the walls. Then came the lock. Her bedroom door changed overnight. Same handle, different key. Maggie turned it, rattled it, knocked. Nothing. Her clothes, her phone charger, her job interview outfit, all behind that door. Maggie muttering, "You've got to be kidding me." Jerome walked out of the bathroom like nothing was wrong. Jerome grinning. "House rules. Only listed tenants get keys. Should have signed the lease, right?" The lease. That same fake signature again. The document was now taped to the fridge like a trophy. A printed copy Maggie had never seen until this morning. It listed only one name, Jerome Carter. No mention of Maggie. No sublease. No children. "Maggie, you said this was temporary. You said we'd work it out." Jerome shrugging. "Guess things changed." That afternoon, Maggie sat in the waiting room of a legal aid office downtown, kids in tow, filling out forms that felt like a test she hadn't studied for. The caseworker didn't seem surprised. Caseworker. "Unfortunately, without a written rental agreement or proof of payment, you're considered a guest." A guest. Not a mother. Not a tenant. Not even a person with rights. Caseworker, softly. "Unless you can prove residency, mail, bills, school forms. It's a gray area. And if he files a trespass claim," he already had. Maggie could feel it. This wasn't just a fight over space. It was a setup. He wanted her gone, but on paper she never existed. That night, Maggie made a decision. She borrowed a friend's camcorder, sat on the couch with her kids and pressed record. Every conversation, every argument, every detail, documented. If Jerome wanted to play games, she would too. But hers would be honest. Maggie to camera. Day 3. He changed the locks. Called me a squatter. "I'm still here. I'm not backing down." But just as she hit stop, Jerome's voice echoed from down the hall. "Jerome, don't worry. This'll be your last weekend here." The courthouse smelled like old paper and fluorescent butt. Maggie sat 3 rows back, clutching her folder of proof dates, screenshots, video timestamps. But in family court, truth comes second to presentation. Jerome wore a button down, smooth, quiet, well-practiced. Maggie, she was tired, her nails chipped, her voice cracked. Her kids had missed school for this. Her job, she lost it last week. Judge monotone. Mr. Carter, you've submitted footage here showing aggressive behavior. Clips played, short chopped context stripped like skin from bone. A moment where Maggie yelled after being locked out. Another, where she shoved a door. The one holding her daughter's school supplies inside. Maggie interjecting. That's edited. That clip cuts off right before. Judge ma'am, you'll get your turn. Her turn never really came. Because Jerome had what she didn't con. Calm in court wins. Jerome softly. She's under a lot of pressure. I tried to help, but she's unstable. Maggie's breath caught in her throat. The judge looked at her like she just screamed in the room. Like she matched the tape. She held up her own videos. Her time-stamped footage. Maggie, I documented everything. I was protecting myself. He changed the locks. Recorded my kids. Forged documents. Judge interrupting. Did you call the police when you found the camera? Maggie, I didn't want to escalate things with the children around. And judge, so there's no official report. Silence. That's when Maggie realized. This wasn't about justice. It was about paperwork. Tone. Calmness. And she was too tired to be calm. The judge adjusted her glasses. Judge, you should have left the residence the moment you felt unsafe. Your continued presence only complicates things. Maggie walked out of court without even her dignity. Outside, her daughter Kenzie waited on the steps. Kenzie, are we leaving? Maggie whispers. Not yet. But soon. The camera in Maggie's bag was still rolling. She hadn't turned it off. Not this time. And 2 days later, she got a call. Social worker. On phone. We've received a report. Anonymous, but serious. We'll need to speak with you and the children as soon as possible.